also for your books, perhaps, and for languages,
Yeah.
perhaps for new languages. Languages are very, very important for you, for your writing, the invented ones, the real ones, and for instance, also Japanese. Japanese influenced some of your invented words. And I found an example where you explained that the double vowels and the double consonants are important for the sound of your languages. Could you give us an example of the influence of Japanese on Eragon?
Well, I'm not as familiar with Japanese
Yeah.
as I am like with German or Norse or something like that. But
Yeah.
I needed some names and languages that were different from what I had already done. So I started looking at like Japanese, where you pretty much always alternate a consonant and a vowel in their words and their names, and you pronounce every sound. There's no hidden sounds in Japanese, like in French, for example.
Yeah.
So in my last book, Brissinger, I had a name. Actually, if you don't
please.
mind, I
Yeah.
can. Let's see, where did I have this? So I had a name that I used based on this, and this man was named Tagana, which is spelled very much like you would in Japanese. And I've done that with a few place names, and usually, as I said again, it's to give some variety, so it doesn't all sound, Nordic.
Okay. Yeah.
Because in my world has a lot of different cultures and races, and trying to create a sense of complexity in the world is always a challenge. In the United States, for example, in Montana, where I live, you can drive around the state and you'll see one thing that is named with a Native American name, and then maybe the next mountain or city or whatever will have a Spanish name, and then the next place you go will have a German name, and then maybe the next one will just have a straight up English name. So there's this there's a stew of influences.
Yeah.
And my world is kind of like that too. A lot of settlers, a lot of immigrants.
Yeah. And starting with Eragon itself, the name, you take away the E, so you have dragon, and then you have the place with words, the era which is gone. It's all within in the title, in this name. How did you find this wonderful name, Eragon?
In the first draft of Eragon was actually named Kevin.
Oh, we are so lucky that it's Eragon.
Well,
I
I knew it was a placeholder name.
Okay,
And I knew that naming Eragon was going to be one of the hardest things in the book. And it took me a very long time to come up with that variation. And of course, there's this was it Spanish or French? Catherine of Aragon, but that's with an A.
Yeah.
Aragon with an A. And ultimately, it's because I was trying to think of the themes of the story I was trying to tell, and thinking of eras passing and the dragons, and ultimately I just ended up fiddling with the word dragon, and that gave me the name.
Dragon, era, the era is gone. It's a fusion of different symbols and issues in one name. It's really
and
great.
Eragon is paired with the dragon Saphira. They're bonded together.
Yeah.
So it seemed appropriate for him to have a name that sort of reflected that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.